After speaking with John and the medical students, we were still curious about the reasons why Indigenous students have such high absentee rates. So he told us about a story. John was walking in front of his school and the school principal was on bus duty, and he saw John's logo and decided to ask him for help. He was wondering why his students are only coming to school once or twice a week at the most. John said that it was because they are not immunised and they are constantly going to the medical clinic to get treatments. So they decided to make a breakfast program together. The principal noticed that the students were coming to school with no breakfast, where it made them hungry in class and made it hard for them to concentrate. The food that they do eat consists of food that is fatty and full of sugar. They needed a large supply of food, so John and the principal decided to write a letter to Woolworths to ask them for help. Yes, now that they had the food supply, they needed to find volunteers to help cook the food. They knew the stable people in the community, which were mostly grandparents. The volunteers who joined were given breakfast and got to take home lunch packs, and even got to take home the leftover food. The first time, 4 out of 5 women turned up. The second week, all 5 of them turned up, and by the 6th week, they all turned up with 4 more new volunteers. The attendance rates were increasing because the students were getting breakfast. The students who were being surveyed on what they want for Christmas, and all of them responded, "We want a new bike." John and the principal thought that this would be a good idea to get the students to come to school. Yeah, it's a little form of bribery, but let's be honest, it's an effective strategy. So John and the principal wrote letters to every single place that sold bikes, Kmart, Grace Brothers, everywhere. They all responded yes. They then developed a raffle ticket draw for the students to get a chance to win a brand new bike. If you turned up, had breakfast, you get a raffle ticket. If you were still there by lunchtime, you get another one, and if you were still there by the end of the day, you get another one. This helped dramatically increase the number of attendance rates of the school. John and the principal, however, didn't tell the students that they actually had enough bikes for everyone. You can imagine how happy they all were. In order to improve the students' health, John got a nurse to come out to the school to get the students immunised. Because of this, immunisation rates increased up to 84%. This meant that it reduced the number of kids aged 6 to 10 presenting to the Mount Druitt Emergency Department by over 60%. This was so important because not only the students are no longer going to the emergency department, health budgets are saved and the attendance rate has increased. Prior to the program, students went to school 1.4 days a week. They got an increase to 3.8 days a week, which is about double the amount. The group of volunteers suggested to the principal that they wanted a parenting class, a playgroup in the school, and he made it happen. So finally, they wrote a letter to the Department of Education and Health Department, asking them to help because this program would cost about $10,000. They both declined. So John and the principal decided to try one last time and wrote a letter to the NRL Rugby League. They replied yes, and actually gave the school $50,000 and still giving them $50,000 every year till this day. So really, if people in health and people in education don't do this cross-sector relation, it would not work.